Okie dokie. I've actually been wanting to watch this show for a while. Invincible is the new-ish take on the dark superhero genre. Mark Grayson, the son of the greatest hero in this world, Omni-Man, has finally gained superpowers of his own. Donning the moniker of the show's title, Mark has to learn the harsh reality of protecting innocent lives and juggling responsibility, all while a sinister plot starts to arise among the people closest to him. I'm gonna go into some spoilers, so be warned. I've actually watched multiple clips of this show on YouTube. It got hyped as shit when it came out, but I just didn't have Amazon Prime at the time. I kept getting recommended stuff, so I thought I'd watch one clip, and then another, and another. You know how it is when you go down a rabbit hole. What's funny is that I got the general gist of the story, thought this was definitely a show I'd enjoy, and then I forgot about it for half a year. I only saw the fights though, so I could only really piece together that Omni-Man turns evil, but I'm glad I didn't know the full story before watching. Thank you Electricity Company for the 12-month subscription. I love how they baited us at the start with a sappy backstory with this random guard, making us think it's a death flag, but it gets saved by the superheroes. Then we get some more sappy scenes with said superheroes and, well, shit happened. It's always good to see a gradual build up in stories. It happens a bit faster with Nolan brutalizing the Guardians of the Globe in the first episode, but there's still those little hints of his true nature sprinkled across the series. Although with the big scene happening at the end of the first episode, it's a bit bipolar in how the show wants me to view Nolan. Like, he murdered an entire team of superheroes, and then tells his family he's worried about the same thing happening to Mark. Bruh, you fucked him up, what do you want about, you psychopath? I do understand now that I've finished the show. It's trying to show the conflict in Omni-Man and Nolan before the final fight. The duality of a soldier loyal to an empire of tyranny, and a father wanting to do what's best for his family. It's good that the show doesn't focus on the Nolan bait too much. We get a bunch of little stories along with it to make this world feel more alive. It doesn't revolve just around our main two. There are other superheroes and supervillains doing their own shit, like dealing with college or cloning themselves. There's a supervillain called the Elephant, and that's all you get besides 2 seconds of screen time and a trumpet noise. It's colourful stuff like this that makes me still enjoy superhero content. It's funny how there's this whole intro scene about resurrecting a dead mummy, but it accidentally gets locked up again because Invincible is flying too low and never gets heard about again. The one thing I love is the snappy dialogue, which is kind of a must-have for any superhero show. I just realized why Marvel tries so hard at comedy now. Rexplosion is an asshole and a goldmine, and Robot's deadpan is always funny. The quips and one-liners get a ton of air blowing out of my nose. The title scene especially, it either catches me off guard or is super corny, and I laugh every time. I've probably gotten too used to shows like Arcane and Mushoku Tensei, but I can't help but look at this show's art style and feel a little bit bored. I partly blame the good shit we've gotten recently, and I also partly blame the fact that not everything fulfills my high standards. Dance for me, animators, make more eye candy! To be honest, it's pretty good animation. It dips in places and the CG stands out, but that's about it. It gets a ton of shit right, like the explosions and gore. And my god, when this show needs to get brutal, it gets brutal. The final fight had my jaw looking like D.A. Sinclair. The fact that I'd already seen some of the final episode before, but still got shocked is due to the newfound context for why we're annihilating a subway station. They did a great job of showing how terrifying Omni-Man is, and the point he tries to prove once he loses the shroud of the world's #1 protector. I have heard some dislike for Amber. I don't know the exact details because I didn't really look into it, but for a large part of what I saw, the biggest sin she committed was being preachy and feeling betrayed. Sure, she comes across as annoying at times, but Mark wasn't exactly the best either. Do I think it could have been handled better? Sure, Amber's behavior gets a bit confusing during the reveal. Like, why is she so mad about Mark abandoning her when she secretly knew he was coming back as Invincible? But I do think it does what it needs to display a teenage romance deteriorate. especially with Amber getting upset that Mark didn't tell her his secret identity. Sure, we as the audience we understand why Mark had to keep it a secret, but Mark really needed to explain that when he was taking his mask off before he flew off, because in-world characters don't have backseat knowledge of superhero tropes. Lack of communication is what really tore this relationship apart. The final episode though, with Amber coming back to him after the ass whooping his dad gave him, that felt weird. I don't think she's a bad person, but I do think her character is a bit inconsistent. Like, sure, go to him to make sure he's okay, but going for a kiss straight away and asking to mend the relationship so quickly felt like a lazy way to get them back together. If they wanted them to rekindle, I probably could have waited till season 2 after a long needed sit down. I also like how Eve's arc went. I thought she was just going to be the next love interest, but she decided to go on a journey of self-discovery to use her powers for humanitarian work instead of defeating criminals. It's so much better than what I thought was going to happen, and arcs like this and robots are something I hoped you could see continue in season 2. Even with all the hype behind it, I was still amazed by how compelling Invincible was after I spoiled myself on the most important twist. I can't wait to see the next season and watch them all continue to grow and make mistakes as they try and stop an alien invasion. If you haven't already, and I would be surprised if you haven't, go and watch... Come on, you thought I wasn't going to do it? If you want to shove me in front of a moving train like Omni-Man, tell me in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want more, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.